Good morning. How are you? Happy Monday morning. Everybody jump on in. Do not delay. How are you doing? You got to start your week out right. You got to start your week out really, really well, don't you? Come on in. So every day, Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, we go live, you guys, and we talk about insulin resistance. And we've been doing this for a year and a half. Can you believe? Maybe even longer now because it was a year ago, I think February that we started. So holy moly, cannoli. I'm telling you, it's been a long journey. It's been a good one. So basically we do this. If you don't know anything about me, this is perfect. Perfect. Just pause for 2 seconds and you'll see whether or not you connect with me or not. So my name is Kirsten Liebelt and I'm in Minnesota. I was raised by a type 2 insulin dependent dad who died at 63. I'm Italian, so I use my hands a lot. Here we go. And we just had tons of obesity and type 2 in our family. Tons. And it was just really quite normalized and assumed that it was only ever really genetic. And so therefore, que sera, sera, whatever happens, happens. You can't do anything about it attitude. And I just really struggled when my dad died at 63. I was only 30. My kids, I have 3 adult children now. They were 6, 3, and 6 months old at the time. So they completely missed out on their Italian grandpa their whole life. And now my first grandson, he is named after him, James Giovanni. My dad's name was Giovanni John. And so anyway, but they completely missed out on it in total, right? And so I watched my dad in his 50s, which now I just turned 60. So 50s is really young, people, right? Good morning, Patty. Good morning, Terry. Lucianne, I will message you when I get off of here, but you can watch until the end and I'll show you exactly what I teach people. If you want to stick around, if you can, I will absolutely help you. And so I just, I watched him in his 50s fill up more and more and more and more of his lazy Susan. I mean, he really had one. That's not just a story. He had a lazy Susan, the ones that you can turn, filled with medications, filled. And he was also taking 2 shots of insulin in his belly every day. And his life in his 50s just went like this, south. And I just remember kind of questioning a lot of stuff after he died. And I ended up, when I finally did something about it for myself, which I was very slow. So do not feel bad about where you're at. Don't allow yourself to go into that moment of shame. Don't do that because listen, I was gestational diabetic with my first baby at 22 and I did freaking nothing until I was in my upper 40s. So, okay. It's okay. And I mean, we'll deal with it right now. You can deal with it right now. And so when I started to change out my foods and, I actually started with supplementation. I talk to you guys about that all the time because I didn't think I would trade out my foods as an Italian girl. I just really didn't. I kind of thought that was beyond my ability because I was really, really entrenched. And so when I started to turn things around, I just decided that I was going to take a completely different route than my dad because his result in the end was not good. And seemingly he was doing everything the doctors were telling him. I mean, I'm sure he wasn't, but you know what I'm saying? But the advice was so bad. It was so bad. And it kind of hasn't changed hardly at all in 40, 50, 60 years. It's the same. It's because it's driven by industry, blah, blah, blah. We can talk about that another time. But now what I know is that here I am. I'm in my 50s. Well, I was in my 50s. I'm 60 now. I'm the only person in my immediate family to have avoided type 2 diabetes. Why? Why was I was gestational. Remember, I just said that 3 minutes ago. I was the gestational diabetic girl. So why have I avoided it? Because it was never meant to exist. It was never meant to be a terminal diagnosis. So I teach 2 things. I teach targeted supplementation and I teach food ingredient trade outs. And most everything people have never heard of. Now, some of you have, and praise God, because there's some really good people out there that I listen to and get my information from to bring to you, because I'm not a doctor. I'm just your girlfriend. Grab a cup of coffee, right? Grab a cup of coffee. We'll chat about insulin resistance and what we can do, because it was not meant to be a terminal diagnosis. So today, what I wanted to talk to you guys about specifically with it is how it's affecting your gut and your liver, and basically your gut, your liver, your insulin, and why you're stuck. Why are you stuck and you can't move forward? And 4 fixes that you can actually do today. I mean, things that you can like just kind of like incorporate into your life that are no big deal. And then I'll explain to you how a lot of the people that I'm connected with now from over the handful of years, like y'all crush my results. Like, it's not just about the weight and the fat loss. I've gone from a 2X down to a large now in my 50s, which is the opposite direction of most, right? My weight was rising also. That's why I was a 2X by the time I hit 50. And that's because there are 2 things that you have to fix in order to actually lose fat. You have to bring down your insulin, and you have to get your liver functioning again. And if you don't do that, you are chasing programs that are not doing that for you. You're chasing things that are not doing that for you. Good morning, TikTok. Good to see you guys. So good to see you. Maybe Cheryl will jump on too today, right? You've tried everything meds and they do not work. Yep. And Patty says, good morning, Terry. You guys are adorable. You're so cute. Okay, so I'm going to dive into the information. If you did not see the 5-day challenge last week, or you missed some of it in the group, in the Facebook group, they are up in the featured section of the group. If you did not know already, the ashwagandha is back in stock. I was just talking about this in my stories, you guys. I was on back order too, and my sleep is not the same right now because I've been out of my ashwagandha for a couple of weeks, and I take that with my magnesium every night. I woke up this morning and I'm like, I need to go check and see if it's coming today, because I really need my ashwagandha. But I want you guys to know that, and especially now, because there's a lot of stress in the world right now, right? I mean, last week with that whole assassination, that causes a lot of cortisol rising. It causes a lot of, concern, and we definitely do not want to be in fight or flight all the freaking time. Our bodies were not designed for that. Over the last couple of weeks, there were a couple of things that took place. I'm not going to relive them because I'm trying to go the opposite direction here. But the point being that there have been images online over the last couple of weeks from 2 different sets. We were not designed to see that. We were not designed for that. Okay. People do end up seeing very traumatic things when they are first responders, or if they are in the military, etc. But we are just scrolling and seeing things that we were not meant to see. So again, just don't be so hard on yourself. Like, have some grace and love for yourself, like while you're walking journey, and letting your body heal, and like, just, you don't have to have all the noise in your head. Okay. But let's move forward. So good morning, Carmel. Good to see you. Very, very good to see you. You just received your 4th month, Jody. I'm so excited for you. I should probably find out. Good morning, Marilyn. Oh, Marilyn's on. Good to see you. I should find out if you have any questions for me, Jody. I'd love to help you. So I'm hoping that means that you were able to take advantage of like that customer campaign. And that is for anybody who needs to know. Oh, you guys, I love you guys so much. You have no idea. I personally am like, if you miss out on the campaign, I'm like, oh God, I don't want that for her. So if you ever check out as a guest, you don't get to take part in the campaign, and you don't get free shipping. So register as a free customer. Okay. Register with your account with your name so that you can take advantage. And the customer campaign is 150, 150, 150, 3 months in a row. And on that 3rd month, you guys, they automatically take off $75. And that's a lot. And you can redo that. I have somebody in their 3rd round of doing that. So good morning, Amy. Good to see you. God, everybody's here, you guys. This is great. Okay, so let's just chat for a second about this connection, because if you can understand, I'm so convinced that if you can understand some of these connections and start to actually work with your body a little bit, and then at the end, I'll tell you how to accelerate it all. But these are things that you can start like working with right now. So, you're bloated, maybe you're eating clean. I hear this a lot, but you're still stuck. Your gut, your liver, and your insulin may be the reason. It most likely is actually the reason. If your gut is inflamed or leaky, you may not know that toxins are spilling into your liver. Then your liver gets jammed and your insulin can't work right. And that's the invisible stall that I see so many women 40 and over in. You're like in this stall, and you're feeling defeated. Maybe you're feeling discouraged. You're like, I've tried everything, but it's the root cause conversation that we have to have. Root cause conversation. You have to make the actual decision that you're going to stop putting Band-Aids all over your body because it's a new fancy program or it's a new fangled something or whatever, but it wasn't maybe designed for your body. Being insulin resistant means that you have to fix a couple things internally before you can move forward. It's not a bad thing. It's just a reality. But nobody tells you that, then you'll never do it because you'll never know. So that's me. I'm here to tell you, okay? So again, if your gut is inflamed or leaky, toxins are spilling into your liver. And why would your gut be inflamed or leaky? Because you're insulin resistant. And what does it mean to be insulin resistant? Well, when you eat food and you spike your blood sugar levels, which is giving your body fuel, and your pancreas releases insulin to go get that fuel and put it into your cell, but your cell is locked, the door closed, and it is now resistant to the insulin that's trying to bring fuel into it. It's resistant. So now what's going to happen is you're going to end up with more insulin, which is more inflammation. And then it's a fat storing hormone. So it's going to lay down fat, but it's not going to give you the safe fat. It's going to give you the dangerous fat, the visceral fat, liver, pancreas, intestines, organs. I hope you're tracking with that conversation, because now when we get to the end of this, you're going to understand why. So this is a big part of the puzzle. If your liver is sluggish, no fat burning for you, switch is turned off. If your insulin is high, fat burning switch turned off. Those two things against you change everything. And that's why you're stuck, most likely, if you're on my content. Okay. But we can turn this around and you can start to actually get results. How would you like to be like Claudette? 74 years old. She did everything that I'm going to talk about today. And in 5 months last year, 74 years old, you guys. So it's not about age. No. It's not about age. It's a hormonal conversation. You've just been told it's about your age. You've just been told that when you went into the doctor. Well, you're getting older. It's not about age. It's about addressing this as a hormonal conversation. Why? Because insulin is a hormone. And the sister hormone to it, this is just my lay person, this is how I view it. Its sister hormone is cortisol. So that's why I brought up the ashwagandha. There's a lot of cortisol going on right now. Okay. So take care of you. Take care of yourself. Okay. Prioritize your sleep. Get your walking in. Do some deep breathing. Do the things that you need to do to take care of your body, because otherwise you're just stalled out. Okay, so let's go. Let's go. Okay, if you wake up with kind of like a flattish belly, you're like, not so bad. I'm doing okay. But then by 3 p.m., you look 5 months pregnant. That's that whole liver gut conversation, right? Or how about you're doing all the right things all week and then you gain 2 pounds after one dinner out? And I have my own feelings about like the scale and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, maybe you're perfect Monday through Thursday, but Friday treat spirals you into the weekend of overeating. I don't know. Did anybody do that this weekend? Did anybody spiral? You don't have to admit it, but if you want to put it in the comments, you can, because it's a safe place for that. We all are very kind and loving about this because we understand, right? But then Monday you're going to be puffy, achy, and foggy. And maybe some of you are that right now because it's Monday. Maybe you're tracking calories, but your rings still feel tight by noon. And you're like, what the heck is going on? I'm doing all of the things that I used to do and they're not working anymore. This is why. These are the connections that you actually want to hear about. So your doctor just says, eat less, move more, which is the dumbest thing ever on the face of the planet. But your labs show fatty liver, high triglycerides, and pre-everything, like pre-diabetic. Okay. So which one feels like you? 1, 2, 3, or 4? You're waking up with a flat belly, but then by 3, you're puffy. You do all the things all week, and then you gain 2 pounds after a dinner out. Maybe you're perfect Monday through Friday, but the Friday treat, spirals you. That's number 3. And by Monday, you're puffy, achy, and foggy. At 4, you're tracking calories, but your rings still feel tight by noon. Which ones are you? Marilyn, good for you. Marilyn says, nope, no spiral. Yippee. And this will happen more and more frequently, where you will not even feel the need to spiral. I promise you. Listen, I'm Italian. I understand. And I was a slow person changing out my foods, 3 to 4 years, right? Jackie says, I just described her with the bloating. Yep, I know it is really, really common, you guys. It's super common. So you're so not alone, okay? Carmel says, yep. Oh, good morning, Joan. Good to see you too. Carmel says, yeah, definitely. Patty says, my weight loss is so slow. Oh, Patty, I'm sorry. I know it just feels so frustrating sometimes, doesn't it? Cheryl says, oh, I know. Good to see you, Cheryl. Good to see you. Okay, so let's dive into this now. I'm so glad you didn't spiral, Marilyn. That's a big one right there. Big one. Okay. So the gut, your gut is your gatekeeper. It filters what's coming in, like your food, your additives, and your microbes. So you do have to become a little bit of a label reader in order to really kind of know what you're bringing into your world. That has to then get filtered out. Because if you can slow down what's coming in, then you can change how hard your body's having to work. Okay. So this isn't about shame or restriction or just punishing yourself. This is about actually, if you had to give your car premium fuel in order for it to work, you wouldn't argue if it gave you better gas mileage. You'd be like, well, okay, I mean, it kind of hurts the pocketbook a little bit, but I would figure it out because now my engine just purrs and I love driving down the road and it feels so good and whatever. You would do that. But then when we talk about our bodies, we don't quite understand that it's literally the exact same connection, right? We don't get that. Now your liver is the processing plant. Okay. So it's the processing plant. It handles what goes out. Toxins, fat, insulin, hormones. Okay. So what comes in is your gut. Okay. So that's like your additives, the bad things in your food, all the microbes, all the stuff that's coming in. Your liver is trying to push things out. It's trying to actually process. It's a processing plant. All right. So if your liver is sluggish, you cannot burn fat. All right. Now your liver might be in good condition and your issue might actually be more of you need to tweak your foods on another level because you might be just overeating. I mean, that is a real thing. Even when you're eating the right foods, you could be eating way too much fat and then hindering your fat loss, or you could be like grazing on the skirts of all of the keto treats and keto breads and things that they're lying to you about that are not helping you. So there are a few other things, right? But for the purpose of this conversation, this is about getting your engine running, right? So if you have a leaky gut, you're dumping toxins into your liver jams up, your insulin cannot move, and your fat storage, your water retention, your cravings all increase, and then everything stalls out, just like your car stalls on the side of the road, okay? Here's some fixes for you. So number 1, you can clean up your inputs. Healthy items, like read about hidden sugars, understand your hidden sugars, your seed oils, or your natural flavors. Like understand some of those things. This isn't becoming the most religious granola person on the face of the planet. It's just recognizing that number 1, insulin resistance land is different once you've entered it. And number 2, we have a highly toxic life. It's just what it is. Like it feels insurmountable most of the time, where we're like, how will I ever get rid of everything and have perfect everything? You won't. The answer is you won't. You might strain at a gnat, like you're straining at a gnat thinking that, this one little teeny tiny thing is the most important thing, when actually there might be a bigger thing that you need to remove. So I'm trying to think of an example of what that would be. Let's say we're gonna sit around and we're gonna argue about sweeteners, and I'm not talking about aspartame. We're gonna argue about whether or not your erythritol, sucralose, your stevia, hold on, I'm thinking. Monk fruit. We're going to argue about which one is perfect and better and blah, blah, blah. And you have no idea the behind the scenes of how it, from a scientist perspective, what it's like to make things that are shelf stable, make things that actually, function in your body, whatever, it doesn't matter. But you're straining over a gnat, and you're not paying attention to the fact that you still think it's okay to be eating like potatoes and having, that Chick-fil-A sauce, it's not so bad or whatever. And it's like, you are like cheat within your own realm. Like, I remember I've been saying this for like 2 years, and I just saw Dr. Ken Berry talk about this. And I thought this was so smart. He said, listen, if you are carnivore, and I'm not carnivore, but he's talking about that. He said, if you're carnivore and you need to have a cheat meal, cheat by doing something keto. Like, just go up a little bit in your plan. Like, don't go out and hit a buffet. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, cheat within your realm, right? So anyway, clean up your inputs. You have to become a label reader, and you have to know what it is that you're looking for. You are definitely not wanting any hidden natural sugar, any hidden sugars, even if they're natural, seed oils, natural flavors, things like that. But there's a short list that you can pronounce. No sugar in the top 3. No sugar in the top 3. No seed oils, like try to avoid them when you can, right? So don't be buying all of the sauces and the condiments that have a lot of seed oils in them. And then what you don't bring in, your liver doesn't have to drag back out again. Okay. Number 2, support your outputs, which is your liver flow. So like dandelion tea in a mug, right? With a little bit of lemon water. You could just have something simple like that, where you're actually helping the detoxification of your liver, something like that. 1 to 2 cups of tea per week, lemon water with meals, things like that, they can actually really make a difference. And you don't have to feel like everything is so hard on the front end. You don't have to fix everything overnight. You don't. You have to do one ingredient at a time, one recipe at a time, etc., so that you can feel like you're moving in the right direction, but that you're not like it's all or nothing, baby, and then you just blow it out of the water, right? You don't have to do that. Number 3, remineralize. Your electrolytes are so important, you guys. Just make sure that they are sugar-free, okay? If you could even do a jar, like you could do a jar, like a mason jar. That's what just came to my head. I don't know why. Or a glass of good water. And please drink good water. You have no idea how our water is hurting us. Talk about an input that we do not have any idea how that is hindering us actually moving forward. So I have a water filtration system in my home, like a little portable water thing. If you ever need to know about that, you can always reach out to me, but you have to have good water. But anyway, water, you could put a pinch of like Himalayan salt in it, squeeze some lemon juice in there, optional, like apple cider vinegar, things like that, and drink that. Get some electrolytes, or you can find the sugar-free ones. I think I even have them on my Amazon faves list. I think I do. I'll look and see while I'm talking to you. You can get like LMNT, and that is electrolytes that are sugar-free, and that's a great way to start with something. My website for me is my first last name.com on Facebook and YouTube. It's right underneath me here. Let me see here. It's right here. You can see it right there. And if you go there, you'll be able to see like my site, which looks just like this. Do one little scroll like this. Let's see. These are the product spotlights that I'm going to talk about here in just a second. These are the free things right here. But then down here, let's see here. Where's my Amazon? Right here. I have an Amazon links for things that I use for insulin resistance. See if I touch it, if it'll work. Come on. It doesn't want to move. Oh my goodness gracious. It says that I don't have internet. That's not true. That's terrible. Okay. Well, there's an Amazon faves list there, and there are some electrolytes if you care, just because sometimes people want something fast. And then the last one is track. Okay. Are you ready for this? You might scroll after I say it. You might scroll. Track how often you have a bowel movement. You don't even have to track it like on paper because, it's probably not so much that you can't remember it, right? Dang it, my internet's off. You have to be pooping every day. You've got to be moving that impacted waste. And if you're not, then that just means that your body is jammed. Your liver is jammed, okay? And so you can write it down on a small notepad if you want to, and just circle every day that you go, but you don't want your system to be jammed. That's literally impacted waste sitting there with toxins. And so we've kind of really not understood the importance of moving everything through our body. And all of these systems are connected. I was even I was in a business leadership this weekend, and somebody on our business team, she's a family practitioner. And we were talking about all of these things that I talk about online and whatever, and about how in medicine, everything is so siloed. And she's like, And she was saying that I was mentioning that it's like you go to one doctor for one thing, and then they can give you a script, and then you go to another doctor for another thing, and they give you another script, and then you go to, right? Like track that, right? And how frustrating that is, because all of these systems work together. So like, go back to, if your insulin is high, if your pancreas is releasing a lot of insulin, your fat burning has stopped. But at the same time, when you're insulin resistant and you have all of this inflammation of insulin coming out, what's happening is then when your cell is blocked off, then you are not able to receive the insulin, which means that insulin, which is a fat storing hormone, is going to start laying stuff down into your liver. Here we are talking about the liver, and then the liver can't do its job, and then the impacted waste gets jammed. And then, do you understand? Like, this is all one conversation. And I was saying that, and she's like, yes, because, and it was interesting too, just a side note, she said, in her doctoring, you guys, this is why you're not crazy. Let me just explain to you. You think you're crazy. And I know, because we go and we feel dismissed, and we feel like we're not heard, and then we don't get answers, and they just are kind of like not, they only know how to prescribe things. She had 1 hour. This is literally somebody I talked to this weekend at my business leadership. She's local on our business team, on my business team, on the greater business team. She's not on mine. Doctor, family doctor. And she says 1 hour of nutrition in her years, and in the 4 years of her becoming a doctor, in the 4 years of actual medical school, 1 hour. So guess what she's doing? She's going back now, and she's getting her functional medicine. She's going back and she's studying, because she can see how lacking. So this is why you don't hear this stuff, and you're like, what? Why does nobody tell us this stuff? That's why, because we rely on the matrix. We rely on the medical community to tell us stuff that they've never been taught. That's why us being our own advocates is of high value. Okay. Okay, hold on. Okay. Terry says that weekend spiral. Magda, good morning. Terry says that weekend spiral used to be her for sure. And so I know she doesn't really do that. Neither do I. But it took me a long time. So don't be hard on yourself. Carmel says she can't wait. She's so tired of bloating. She wants to get the system on board. Amen, Carmel. Amen. Shirley says, good morning, Kirsten. The wedding is over. I started the total body reset yesterday. I'm cooking today. I'm so excited. Shirley, I'm excited for you. I'm so excited for you. And I know I've said it to you before, but Shirley was my mama's name. And so I sure miss her. And Barb says, what are your thoughts on battling parasites while following my protocol? Yes, you can definitely do that. You can definitely do that. That's fascinating that you bring that up also. because that was another, we kind of were like, we were having girl time at this leadership. It's kind of funny. I'm going to sneeze. So I apologize. I'm just like trying to get it to go away. Here we are having girl time and we are playing like, have you guys ever played bananagrams? Anyway, so we're playing bananagrams and pretty soon here we are, all of us, like, I don't know how many of us there were. Let's say there's 30. I don't remember. And we all start talking about all of this. Like we had the parasite conversation. We had the silo conversation and the nutrition and doctors we just had all this chatter because all of us are, we are brand ambassadors for a healthy line that is helping people make differences. And we want to know more to help more people, but we also want to become our own advocates on a higher level. Like this is what's kind of in us, right? It's just a part of it. So anyway, Cheryl, I see that your name came up, but there was not a message there. So I apologize that I just can't see it. So let's kind of wrap that up just a tiny bit. So some of the everyday swaps that you can do, like breakfast, think protein. You've got to think protein, you guys. This is why I've got that free protein blueprint. Eggs, leftover protein, maybe some greens if you want to, but you've got to skip the cereal. You've got to skip the toast. You've got to skip anything that is grain or legumes, right? Your cooking fats can be butter and ghee and olive oil and avocado oil. Ditch the seed oils. If you're a chocolate person, do a good thing and go to like Walmart if you are a Walmart person, but you can go to the baking aisle and you can get a great value baking bar. It's unsweetened chocolate. You can sweeten it yourself. You can melt it a little bit in a pan or in the microwave or whatever. And you can actually maybe even add a little bit of butter to it if you want to. And a little bit of you could use liquid caramel stevia, or you could use, a little allulose and sweeten it up on your own. And then go ahead and freeze that. It'll freeze right up because it will, of course, right? So just put that on some parchment paper, have a little bit of chocolate for yourself available. There's nothing wrong with that, but be creative and resourceful in that arena, right? So Jackie's answering if this would help with inflammation and arthritis. Yes, because this is all about inflammation. High insulin is causing a lot of inflammation. And my mom, the thing is that she had so much arthritis in her body. And I'm convinced, oh God, you have no idea how much I'm convinced. Now, I am not a rheumatologist of any sort, right? So that's not my wheelhouse. I'm just going to tell you my mama's universe. I watched my mom in her 50s. Now she was Swedish, married to an Italian man. And so she was a really, really good cook, right? And she actually made the Italian cookies better than the Italians did, in my opinion. But her weight was increasing, and so was her inflammation. And pretty soon now she's having hip surgeries and a knee replacement. She had all of these replacements, everything. And that was way long before she ever ended up with type 2, because that was on the horizon. She just didn't understand it. And then dementia. And it's all connected. So yes, inflammation is huge and you can get it down. You really, really, really can. So for anybody who, like now Shirley was just talking about the total body reset. So I'm just going to explain that to you. You guys are awesome. Look at your questions. You literally just made the egg white bread and you can't wait to try it. And I'm currently on your computer. Julie, that's great. That's awesome. Now it says Julie, but then you signed Julia. So either way. So that's great, Julia. I'm so excited for you. I love that bread. Are nuts okay? Yes, they are, but I overeat nuts. So I don't do massive things with almond flour or have mixed nuts in my home. I do them. I just don't do them all the time because I will eat them. I'll overeat and it will wait. I'll find a way to just pack on the fat and the carbs, and that's what I'll do. So I know myself, but yes, otherwise nuts are okay. Some of the lowest carb nuts would be like pecans or macadamia nuts. Your mom and friends still think I'm doing too much. No validity despite my weight loss and improved lab results. What do you mean you're doing too much, Cheryl? What do they think? And I'd love to know. So if you could tell what has been your weight loss and what is your best lab result that you would want to share? Like when I talk about lab results for people and it's like somebody has not diabetic written in their chart by their doctor, or somebody's A1C dropped, X amount of points, or the fatty liver MRI that went from bad to mild. Like, these are all testimonies in this community. It's Julia, but half the world calls me Julie, or hey, you. You're funny. Okay, Julia, I'll try to remember that. I'm so glad you made the bread. Would you send me a picture? I would love to have a picture. Drop it in my messenger. I would love to see a picture of that. I get very excited because this was the thing that I thought, and this will lead right into what I'm going to talk about with supplementation. This is the one thing that I thought was going to be the hardest thing that I would ever do on the face of the planet, and that is trade out my food. Because as somebody who's Italian, there were too many connections, and I can't go into all of it right now. It's why I just kind of tell bits and pieces as we do our lives, but it was my whole life. And so, come on, like, now I'm making egg white bread. Like, who am I? But I love it. And last night, what I did, I made a sweet bread the other day, and I don't actually normally do that as much anymore, but I did. I used my liquid caramel stevia, and I sweetened my bread with it. I layered it with cinnamon. And so then I had some of it left over last night. So I sliced it in thin slices. I fried it in butter, and then I put some cream cheese on it. Well, if you don't think that was good, oh my gosh, it was so good. It was so good. Okay. So this is how I started with supplementation for you guys. I started with these three. These are what I call the trio. They are 3 supplements that have 3 ingredients that help with insulin sensitivity. I started this a little over 10 years ago, you guys. I didn't have access to what I'm going to tell you in the total body reset here, but I started with these: insulin, sugars, metabolism, liver, all in one little pocket. Okay. This one you take 3 times a day. This one you take 3 times a day. And these 2 you take twice a day. Okay. And that helped my liver function to go up, my insulin to go down. That's how I was able to start releasing fat out of my body. Now, the second part of, because there are 6 products in the total body reset, that's half of it right there. There's 3, half of it right there. Okay. The second part has 2 products in it: the gut primer and the probiotic. I just did these. I just did all of this morning. Well, except for one of them, because I'm on a break. Gut primer. This is not a greens product, but it looks like it. I'm almost out of this one. It has 6 different blends in it. And the reason why that's important is because it's an actual gastrointestinal primer. It's not just a greens, like you're taking greens in a smoothie. Yes, it has fermented greens in it, but that's not its role. It has the alkaline spices and the digestive enzymes and pre and postbiotics. It has all the pieces to it. And so what it makes you feel like is your bloating diminishes, your indigestion goes away. I'm not going to make that claim. I've had people with indigestion going away. I've had people with constipation leaving. I've had people with diarrhea getting fixed. So both sides of that spectrum, because you're recalibrating your gut. When you have leaky gut, you just have you just don't understand how much that's affecting every part of your life. And the inflammation in your gut has got to get fixed. And the piece of this that is so important is the liver, the liver, the liver. So you'll notice there's liver in this part. There's liver in this. Okay. And then the probiotic, and I just put this on my tongue every day, just like that. 5 live strains. Okay. And then the last one, I will look at that in just a second. Cheryl, thank you for sharing that. She's got some results that she's going to talk about. And this one is the orange pixie stick that I talk about. It tastes like candy, but it is designed for a sports nutrition line to target your visceral fat. And the reason why it's for a sports nutrition line is because in sports nutrition, we talk about your BMI. We talk about your body mass index, right? So therefore, when you want to lose the inches off your trunk, that's what this is designed to do, okay? So all 6 of these make up what's called the total body reset, okay? That's what that is. There are people that do things in a couple of different ways. Some people just want the trio. And this is where I want to make sure that, because I know a confused mind does nothing. So this is where I want people to have clarity. Okay. And so we'll wrap up with this kind of as much clarity as I can give you. The trio is one option. Okay. You might even just want only the gut reset protocol, which is the primer and the probiotic. You may want all of it, or you may go, you know what? I have got to focus on my liver. If you only want liver, and I'm going to show you where they are. Liver, liver, liver. Those three would be a great liver reset. Okay. And I'll tell you, those 6 products in different configurations like that, every single piece helps with insulin sensitivity. Every single piece is working on the one system. And what are the results? Well, like I said, Claudette, 74, in 5 months, she lost 45 pounds. I have Magda's on here. She, over the course of a year, her fatty liver went from bad to mild on an MRI. She had her A1C go down. She lost 6 inches underneath her bra line alone, not to mention her waist and her hips. Lost 17 pounds. Terry lost 49 pounds. She's weighs less than she did 30 years ago. She's 62 years old. Like, that's what happens when you actually target the system instead of just buying fancy schmancy programs because they marketed to you with pretty colors. And I say that because when you're insulin resistant and nobody is talking your language, my nose, I'm going to sneeze. When nobody's talking about how to get your body to function, then you just feel frustrated all the time and you feel so unheard. And that has to stop. We have to stop that part of what's going on. It's just crazy. So Cheryl says this. Oh, I'm going to show you where to find stuff. My site is my first last name.com. Kirsten, Kirsten Liebelt, Liebelt, Liebelt. It looks like Liebelt. KirstenLiebelt.com. Okay, it's right here for Facebook and YouTube, so it's super easy. When you get there, you will see this. It says product spotlight, and there's my before and after picture. Okay, everything I literally just said to you is right here. It's all here. Trio, liver reset stack, those 3 for the liver, the gut reset, which is the primer and the probiotic, and the total body reset. It's all there. All the pricing, all the information, all the everything. And if you do anything, register as a customer. Do not check out it as a guest. You're missing out. You're missing out on the potential of the customer campaign, which is purchase 150 3 months in a row. And on your 3rd month, you get $75 off. You're missing out on the free shipping at $139 or more. Like, meow, meow, listen to me. Don't do that. Don't miss out. And, unless you just really don't care. And that's fine too. Some people don't. That's me projecting onto you how much I care about that. And then here are 3 free things. So product resources, three free things. And then if you go to the bottom, here's all of my contact information. There's literally no reason why you should never be able to get a hold of me. The only thing would be if you've sent me a message and I didn't respond to you, will you resend it? Because I get a lot. And so it's possible that it gets buried. Okay. So that's all I say. So Cheryl says they think your online journey is a hoax. Oh my gosh. I don't get it. Your A1C is 5.7. That's really good. Your LDL is 84. Your homocysteine inflammation is down to 14 from 19. Still working on inflammation and getting your A1C down further. That is a good A1C though, Cheryl. I mean, don't get me wrong. You can get that down further for sure. How do you feel like your food is? Like, do you feel like you're dialed in on being completely grain-free, sugar-free, and legume-free? Do you feel like that is working for you? I would love to know. And now tomorrow, what we will do is, Patty says it's helping with her arthritis. No more pain in your hips. I remember you saying that, Patty. I'm so glad. And again, Patty, if you need help tweaking something, let me know. If you need help like with foods or something like that, let's chat. But I love that because if you can get your inflammation down and even, I won't go down that road, but when you begin to take back your life and you feel good, you can't pay me. This whole weekend, I spent the weekend in a business leadership at a pumpkin farm. We went to church. We did a lot. We packed so much into this weekend. It was crazy pants. But I don't go and wait and ache and hurt and sit and hurt. I mean, it's worth so much to me. Like the price that's on that is, my mother lived with so much inflammation and arthritis, and she lived on Tylenol her entire life. I mean, a lot of Tylenol. She ended up with renal cancer, lost a kidney, all of the things. And it's like, how much of this could have been completely avoided in her life had she understood everything that I teach you guys every day? Had I been able to know this for my own parents, it would have completely changed. I know, crazy pants, Patty, crazy pants. So 5.8 A1C seems like aches and pains. Turned 40, anxiety, Ashley. Feeling generally icky. I really need to work on getting inflammation down. All right. Where do you live, Ashley? Tell me where you live. I would totally be open to having a dialogue with you, because you may, turned 40. So you're at the beginning of perimenopause. And I will tell you, had I known this at 40, like game on, that would have been so helpful. And isn't it interesting that that anxiety is a part of that? Washington State. Okay, perfect. Ashley, I will reach out to you when I get off if you want me to. But think about that. You even know that. And that's interesting. I don't know if you were here at the beginning, but I was talking about how ashwagandha, which is one of my very favorite adaptogenic herbs in all of the world, it was on back order and now it's getting shipped to me, but I haven't had it for 2 weeks and it changes my sleep. I want my ashwagandha. Ashwagandha helps with sleep, stress, and mood. Sleep, stress, and mood. So that's a component. Magnesium would be another component. I still, to this day, over 10 years later, every morning when I take these are my supplements. I'm weird. I don't do a pill box. Every morning that I take my supplements, I actually take out, I either have it in my purple packet or I just have it loose, because I'm changing things up all the time, according to whatever I have on hand. This is another adaptogenic herb that I started with when I was your age. I was a few years older than that, Ashley, because it was a mood brightener. Do you understand what I say when it's a mood brightener and a mind brightener? And so God gave us these things, but sometimes we just need a little help as to how to execute, how to incorporate, Yeah, I will absolutely do that, Ashley. So, everybody needs a little something different, but I'll tell you, I thought when I started my journey that I would be targeting the Ashleys of the world, because if I could only help those women in their early 40s, I know, because listen, 50 years old, I was a 2X in size. I was a 2X. My weight was out of control. I already had remnants of postpartum, like how it felt when I was postpartum. That was showing up. Anxiety, like Ashley just said. And this was for you, Ashley, that's my before and after. Okay. That I have on my site. So 2X in size. There you go. I understand. So, all right. We're going to jump off. If you need anything, let me know, but be back here again tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, and we'll discuss insulin resistance again. And, some of you are going to be like, lady, I don't even want to talk to you. And you just go to my site. That's perfect. Make sure you don't check out as a guest. But then there are going to be some of you that are like, okay, I just want to make sure. I just want to ask 1 or 2 questions just to make sure that I'm choosing the right thing or something. Reach out to me. Messenger, Instagram, all of the places you can find me, okay? And I will chat with you, okay? But we'll see you tomorrow. Have the best day ever on the face of the planet, okay? Deep breathe. It's Monday, deep breathe. We're not going to have stress this week like we had last week. We're not going to do that, okay? We're going to love ourselves, and we're going to have grace, and we're going to move forward, and we're going to do some self-care, okay? All right. I got you. See you later. I love you guys so much. See you later.